Hi, everybody. I am Achyuta Reddy. I'm Dr. Achyuta Reddy. I'm a psychiatrist in Wichita, Kansas. I've been practicing in Wichita since 1999. I finished my medical school in India and completed my residency in psychiatry in University of Kansas Medical School, Wichita. I practice general psychiatry, and I have been exercising since 1981. Exercising in the sense I do exercise every single day unless I'm sick. During the course of these 30 years, I've done Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, meditation, running, weightlifting. And in the course, I've understood an idea or a concept called absolute yoga. I've realized it, and it has a great, profound impact on the human consciousness. That's what I think. I'm going to talk about chronic pains. The chronic pain has been a major problem all across the world. What medical science understands about chronic pain is currently, let's say, take the joint pain, the inflammation, pain, the anti-inflammatory medications, rest, physical therapy, pain medications. And this is all good as far as the treatment as understood by the medical sciences that are practiced by various physicians, including the orthopedic doctors, primary care physicians, psychiatrists, including me. It is well and good, but I believe that with absolute yoga, we can move it forward to a different level. In order to understand the absolute yoga, I want to first of all tell you about the absolute idea of a muscle, an absolute idea of a joint. First of all, understand what a muscle, the idea means what is the science behind it, what is the health behind a muscle. The muscle health depends on the tonicity, the strength, and the bulk, and all of that. So the tonicity is the one which is dependent on the neural system. The brain, the anterior motor neurons from the spinal cord will send a constant signal to the muscle to keep the tonicity. Tonicity is the ability to return to its original position from a stretched muscle. That is the basic definition of the tonicity. It's just kind of, for example, take the example of a rubber. You just, when it's healthy, but when it's a newly made rubber, when you pull it, it will get back quickly to its original position. That is the tonicity. So the tonicity actually will deteriorate as we age. No matter what you do, you can do all sorts of exercises. You can never improve the tonicity. At the age of 50, you can be the Arnold Schwarzenegger of exercises. You can build the muscles, but you can never become a 16-year-old tonicity. Yes, you can improve the bulk and the strength as you age with the help of your conscious mind. That's the one control that you have over the muscles. You can do it all your life until the day you pass away. That is the only system in your body that you can have the conscious control. You don't have the control over your internal organs much. So through controlling the external body, you can control your internal systems. That's how we can be healthy. That's what through the exercises. So when usually the muscle is like this, the actin and myosin filaments are like this in a restful stage. When they contract, they go like this, and they relax. They contract, they relax. So in the healthy muscle depends on this balance. And you don't have to really know about the knowledge of the muscle in order to function, because who taught a fish to swim? Who taught a lion to hunt? Who taught anything to do by itself? It's automatic, it's a natural phenomenon. Only thing is sometimes we mess it up with our conscious mind. In a free state, it does its function. One thing is what happens is when you accidentally strain your muscle, let's say you suddenly slip and overstretch your muscle. As a protective phenomenon, it becomes like this. And it is a protective, it's a good thing for you so that you don't tear the muscle. So in this process, what happens is there's an injury, subtle injury. It's not injury, but it's a subtle injury where you'll have inflammation, tenderness, pain. That's where people take anti-inflammatory medications. It's okay to relieve the pain, but the natural course of action will not change. Whether you take anti-inflammatory or don't take the anti-inflammatory medications, for thousands of years people have survived. They have had strains. They got better. How did they get better? They didn't have to take any pill. If you take a pill, you might not feel the pain. You will be relieved in a week. But within 2 weeks, irrespective of what happens, the things will be healed. When was the last time you had a superficial cut and you did not heal? It will heal within a week, unless you have immunocompromised states, that disease states. We are not talking about that. And a basically healthy person will heal by itself. The muscle also slowly comes back in 2 weeks to this restful position. And this is where the health again comes back normal again. So this system is not damaged. Whether you had 10 strains, it will be healthy again. You don't have to really strengthen the muscle in order to maintain this. You can improve the strength by exercising. That's a good thing. But this basic phenomena will exist as long as you live. That's what I want you to understand about the basic absolute idea of muscle. Now coming back to the absolute idea of the joint. The joint also is a healthy joint. Basically, it is supported by ligaments. A joint has 2 bones. There's cartilage, there is space, there's fluid, there are ligaments, there are muscles on top of it connecting. Everything is stabilizing the joint. Whether it's a knee joint or an ankle joint or a hip joint or any joint. The health of the joint, normal health of the joint, depends on the mobility, the movement. You don't have to do great rocket science. You don't have to understand great rocket science about it. You don't have to take great things about some nutritional supplements in order to make it healthy. The basic element is move. Do the basic animal thing. That keeps you healthy. The movement of the joint will keep you healthy, no matter, even if it's 100 years. You might have various inflammatory syndromes like chronic inflammatory conditions, rheumatoid arthritis, age-old, old age joint problems, osteoarthritis. What the medical science understands is the inflammation is causing pain. That's understandable. And so what the medical science people, when you come and complain of pain, is, okay, let's give the anti-inflammatory medications. Let's give some rest, heat, and then pain medications, opiates. All of these things are to relieve the pain. But what actually is really required is you just have to move for the health of the joint. This is the absolute idea. I want to give an absolute idea of the muscle and the absolute idea of the joint. No matter what, 100 years of life can be maintained with the health of these joints. Now coming back to the absolute yoga. What does absolute yoga understand? What I want you to understand is the absolute yoga begins where the medical sciences end. It is a complementary thing. It is a coordinating idea. It is not contradictory. Maybe here or there are some ideas that are opposite, but this is where the mind over matter concept comes. So I'll explain to you about how the absolute yoga is going to help the chronic pain syndromes. Let's take the muscle. What happens is the muscle When we talked about the muscle strain, what happened was there was inflammation, tenderness. You took some anti-inflammatory medications. That's well and good. You took it. But what happens when after a week or two, when it comes back to this normal position, the common man's mind gets confused. It's the illusion. It's the fear that gets you stuck. What happens is you are never able to relax this muscle again. Once you have that fear, you strained it, it's the human mind says, it just cannot. You think that the muscle has become weak. That is where the wrong idea is coming from. And of course, there is no wrong idea. Medical science is not giving this wrong idea. The human mind itself is perceiving that, the fear. This is where I've understood, after 30 years of experience, I've experienced some chronic pain in the back, not suffered needing surgery or anything like that, but during the course, I've understood this concept of absolute yoga through my personal experience. And I really got inhibited. I walked like stuck for several months. And that's where my personal experience and applying some of the exercise principles made me understand this concept. That's what I'm trying to make you. If you do not understand this absolute transcending concept of the muscle, you're never free. The freedom comes when you understand. This is about mindset. It's not about exercising. It's about understanding the freedom within you. You have freedom. You're basically free. Your muscle is free. The muscle strain is there to prevent muscle injury. It's a natural phenomenon. Because sometimes we slip, fall, overstretch, and it just does it. Once that acute phase is over, 2 weeks phase is over, you can take anti-inflammatory you want to, it doesn't matter. You go to physical therapy, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to take these muscles, the anti-inflammatory medications or the physical therapy, nothing, if you are free, basically here. For me, I would immediately be normal, like normal in the sense, I would go walk, I would do my normal activities as my body permits. Within a week, I'm getting better. In 2 weeks, everything back to normal. There is some tenderness there, but I ignore. I don't care. And that's where my freedom comes, where the whole world is getting stuck there. I was stuck like that for several years. And now, I basically after that freedom, I've never gotten to that position where, oh my God, I cannot move, I cannot do my routine activities. So the more I became free, I do not have muscle strains as much. I lift weights. Really, the freedom has really prevented me from having any problems. Again, coming back to the concept of that's the muscle freedom. So this absolute understanding will become the basic element for you to become free. Now coming to the joint. The joint also is basically a free element. All our lives, we use the joint. When we age, our skin grows old, it wrinkles. Everything gets damaged. The joint also gets damaged. Why are you so worried about the damage having some pain in the joint, some discomfort in the joint, some cracking in the joint? People tell me, oh, I have some crackling sounds in it. So what? Ignore it. This is the thing. What you have to learn to do is ignore the mild illusions, mild pains, mild sufferings, and move it freely. What the medical science is trying to do is, when you go with complaints of pain, this is where the difference between the medical sciences and the absolute yoga science contradicts is. They tell you that as you age, usually one of the common reasons of the chronic pains in the old age is osteoarthritis. That's what we are talking about. They say, don't walk on the hard surface. Don't be hard on the joint. Be soft. Water aerobics. Use some strange foot pads in the shoes. All of these things are wrong. This is where I contradict. Actually, the joint health depends on walking on the hard surface. It brings in more stability. I understand you might experience a little bit of discomfort, like when you pound on something for a long time, you might feel this thing, but a slight discomfort. But it doesn't mean to say pain. Doesn't mean to say it's damage. This is where I want to really give this idea of absolute yoga. Pain doesn't mean to say it is damage. Pain, there are certain things like, yeah, when you have a broken bone, you have pain. It's not pain, it's damage. But you have to differentiate between the good pain and the bad pain. So the joint health depends on the more, using it more, not less. The medical sciences is actually crippling the human consciousness at this point of time. It's not doing it willfully. It is telling you the next step. For example, when the joint is a problem, heat, rest, all of those things are good. It's a good concept for it to heal. But what happens is, after that is healed, people are not able to get back to that normal free self. And in fact, even if the times when you have pain, quote unquote, this thing, what I would do is I would actually ignore it. Osteoarthritis is not a problem for me. Of course, I don't have osteoarthritis. I have been running for the last 25 years. I run barefoot. I run minimum 1 hour a day. The whole concept of joint damage is wrong. What I have understood in 2007, by 2007 I have understood the concept of absolute running. You can run 16 hours a day if you can. You might get exhausted. You might have a kind of, a complete dull pain in the joint. But actually it's not bad. It's only the result of the physical impact, but it's actually good. Your health, your joint becomes better. So the difference between the absolute yoga and the medical science is slight, but the impact of it is profound. One concept is telling you to rest and protect. The one concept is making you free. Do more, do more, do more. This is the essential difference. The ultimate essence of absolute yoga is ignore the negativity. Focus on the positive. Focus on the positive. Of course, you have to understand what is positive. That is the biggest problem. And what I'm here is to explain to you what is the positive movement, what I've understood in my life, and I'm going to talk about that part by part. I'm going to talk about the shoulder freedom next, and then later on back pain syndromes, and we will become free down the road. We'll all become free. Thank you, my friends. Hello, friends. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the shoulder problems, what absolute yoga understands and heals the shoulder problems. Let's talk about various shoulder problems. The common ones that the medical treatment and the common problems that the individuals experience is shoulder limitation, sprain, strain, rotator cuff syndromes, recurrent dislocations. These are the common things that people suffer from, and what the medical sciences understand is rest. How to treat is rest, anti-inflammatory medications, pain medications, physical therapy. And if that doesn't solve the problem, surgery, various surgical interventions, cleaning up the joint, adjusting the muscles, putting pins and plates. Despite that, there are several people who become dysfunctional, and there is a limitation of the shoulder joint and pain in the joint for several years. The worst case scenario, I've seen a patient 14 years. She couldn't put her left hand, with her left hand, she could not put up her hair. I've seen various people struggling for years together. Always, in such cases, there is recurrence. They always have a chronic problem. They are not perfect. From time to time, they experience the problem, they have limitation of the movement and cannot use the joint perfectly, cannot lift normal amount of weights. What does the absolute yoga understand? I've understood through my own experience after years of exercise. I've understood the concept of absolute yoga. What I understand is it's all misperceptions, misunderstandings of how the problem is or what the problem is. It's a mindset. Because the shoulder dislocation doesn't happen unless there is a major motor vehicle accident. The whole shoulder should just be avulsed. Other than that, there is no question of dislocation. If you are able to move with your hand, there is no dislocation. The concept of dislocation is a misnomer. That's what I understand. Because after treating about 50 shoulders, the absolute yoga understands the freedom of the body itself, the joint itself, and especially now we're talking about the shoulder joint. What is the freedom in it? One of the common problems that you are encountering with the shoulder is strain and tendinitis. This is the truth. Strain of a muscle is like a catch. When you acutely overstretch it in order to prevent the tear and damage of the muscle, it has an inherent protective mechanism and creates a big catch. But it goes away in another few days, depending on the seriousness. In a couple of weeks, everything is gone. You might still have some mild tenderness, but it's gone. You're normal back again. The muscle functions normal again. And there is another problem is tendinitis. Tendinitis is inflammation of the tendon. The tendon is the white, silvery thing at the end of the muscle that connects to the bone. When you overstretch a muscle in a wrong way over a period of time, you develop inflammation. And that is called as tendinitis. Either of these things, either the tendinitis or the sprain or the strain. Sprain is the ligamental strain. When the ligaments get overstretched or torn, it's called a sprain. When it's the muscle, it's the strain. Tendinitis, it's the tendon inflammation. This is the only problem, the common problems that we encounter. We are not talking about major accidents, completely shoulder out of the socket. We are not talking about that. 99% of the problems of the shoulder fall under this category. What I understand is, if you have a misunderstanding about the problem, the solution also is totally wrong. The problem is simple. The problem happens because of the complex interplay of these muscles in this joint, muscles and ligaments. When you have tendinitis or sprain or strain, what happens is there is a limitation of the movement. And somehow it gets stuck in a complex way. And the more you move, the more it gets stuck. It's almost sometimes there are some you have some bands that you lock bands. When you try to pull it, it becomes tighter and tighter and it will never get loosened. In the same way, the shoulder joint will not get released. The more you move it, the more it gets into trouble. And that's why people don't know what to do. Even the most experienced physical therapist, and you can take the great physical trainers, orthopedic doctors, they cannot deal with it. Sometimes the physical therapy after months together, depending on the situation, they can heal it. But the chronic cases that I have seen, I have treated at least 50 shoulders, They have come to this point because of the misunderstanding and the mindset which is wrong. I'll give you an example. The worst case I've seen is how a couple of years ago I've seen Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Cut. Start. I'll give you an interesting case. A couple of years ago, I've seen on the YouTube Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone both having shoulder surgery in a Los Angeles hospital on the same day. They did not actually talk amongst each other, but it happened. And it was an interesting event. What I'm trying to say here is, these are the stalwarts of physical exercise. These are the absolute end of physical training. When these people can suffer from these shoulder problems and they cannot resolve, and I believe through the understanding of the self, through the absolute understanding, absolute yoga, there is no need of surgery. It is that they could not get out of that stuck. And that's what I'm going to talk to you through showing how to do it. The misunderstanding, one more misunderstanding, apart from there is no problem with the dislocation at all. There is no dislocation. The second thing is there is no damage to the muscle. There is no need to strengthen. The strengthening of the muscle concept is wrong. Even a 100-year-old, when they barely function, they can still move. You don't have to strengthen for the normal activities. Yeah, if you want to strengthen it for making your muscle strong, that is a different reason. But for the ordinary function of the joint, you don't have to strengthen the muscle. You have to become free. That is the essence. You have to understand the freedom of your joint. That's what absolute yoga talks about. That's what I understood. There is freedom within your body. It's a birthright. You have a birthright of freedom of every joint. Only thing is you have to know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, you will waste it. Push through the pain. Ignore the negativity. Focus on the positive. Move it more. Move it right. And you will make it healthy. So the two misunderstandings is, one, there is no dislocation. You don't have to make the muscle strong. That's what the whole idea of why I'm trying to do this. And I will show you various videos where people have struggled for years and I have been able to treat them in a few minutes. And I have experienced it. You can see it and decide for yourself whether I'm talking something sensible or nonsensical. Good luck. Hi friends. I'm going to show you how you can relieve your problems of the shoulder. As I talk to you, the shoulder problems are mainly because of the muscle strain, ligamental sprain, or tendinitis, that is the inflammation of the tendon. This is a complex joint. Biceps muscle, triceps muscle, all sorts of muscles come in a crisscross fashion and end up in the shoulder joint. And that's why the biggest confusion happens to the common man. That's the misunderstanding and the problem with the mindset that creates confusion and ultimately long-term dysfunction of this joint. So I'm going to talk to you how to relieve it. Usually when there is a problem we talked about, it gets stuck. And you try to move it, it's painful. You try to move it, it's painful. Especially in certain movements, they become painful. Depending on the muscle and the joint, on type of the ligament or a group of muscle fibers, there is limitation in a certain movement. And so what the medical sciences misunderstand is, they think that the shoulder has dislocated. That's wrong, totally wrong. When you are moving the joint this much, even the limitation, that means say there is no dislocation, Absolutely wrong. When you hear that, it's absolutely wrong. I can challenge that. Only a dislocation can happen if it's a major fall from a big height and then major motor vehicle accident we talked about. Other than that, everything can be healed. I'm going to show you how to do it. So, when you try to do in any other way, it gets stuck. There is only one specific way, path to deal with it. And that's what, luckily, I believe the destiny and the God has blessed me to understand this. I suffered from chronic pain for several years. It's only through this understanding I'm able to liberate the joint. I'll tell you how. If you do any other way, it doesn't do any good. The first and foremost is you have to understand you have to push through the pain. You cannot be afraid. I can understand you're afraid because it might tear, because you've heard that, oh my God, there's a problem. You might have damage some more. That's your fear. What I want you to do is push through the pain. You're free. So I'll show you how. What you do is, first of all, close your fists, and what you do is do it up and down. This is the first movement you have to do. You have to do it up and down. Do it 5 or 6 times until you feel comfortable. And then the next movement is rotation. You have to rotate like this, opposite. Break it. Break every sort of inhibition, every sort of stuck. Do it opposite. Up and down. These are the 2 movements that will make you free. That one, and do the neck movements next. Right, left. Break your neck. Move it. And then up and down. Don't worry, there's a lot of misunderstanding, fear that the joint is going to there is going to be disc prolapse, disc displacement. I don't believe it. I'm a yogi, I've done for 34 years of yoga. Body is not easily dislocated. The vertebrae are so strong. We'll talk about in another session about the back pains and what all the disc prolapses. We're not going to talk about it, but what I want you to understand is move freely. Shoulders, ear stretching the shoulders. Nicely stretch it through. Do not fear. There are several layers of protection before it comes to the bone, skin, the connective tissue, lots of fat, muscles, before you get to the joint damaging. So do not fear. Now do the rotation. Opposite. Stretch it to the extreme. Everybody is afraid. People are scared. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. This is my personal experience. Do it at a slower pace initially. You don't have to be impulsive and just do it fast. Do it slowly. Slowly when you gain control, do it to the extreme. And now, touch the chin to the chest, like this, and do. Rotate it. You're done. Basically, you try to lift your hands and you will see yourself, you're free. Previously, you could not even move back and forth. In 5 minutes, you will be able to be free. Depending on the longevity of your problem, it might take few minutes, sometimes few days, few months, but if you're persistent, within 6 months, guaranteed, you will become 100% normal. And you can do with these weights also. You can hold a few pounds and do the same movements. Bottom line is, the joint is free, you can make it free, and you can see the videos that I have taken of the people who have struggled with chronic pain of the shoulder. I have several videos that you can watch on my website. Good luck. Katrina Fishback. Today is May 18, 2015. Tell me your problem with the right shoulder, ma'am.
It was dislocated and fractured, and I have metal in my right shoulder along with 6 pins and 2 screws.
So you had a broken bone.
Yes, it was fractured.
Was there a complete fracture?
It was a complete fracture. Yeah, it was.
How did that happen?
A seizure.
Oh, you had a seizure and you fell down.
I did not fall down. I tensed up so much that it dislocated my shoulder, and it fractured the shoulder when it dislocated.
Wow. So you did not even fall down? You did not even have any major blow to the shoulder, nothing?
I got home from work and I sat down to count my tips because I was working. Sat down on the couch, and my family said I stood up, I had a blank stare in my eyes, and I sat back down on the couch, and then my arms went up like this. And I leaned back on the chair, and my mom said that I just kept getting tighter, and she heard 2 pops in my arm.
Okay.
I felt the heaviness to where it can't go.
That's the max that you could do? That's it?
Yep, because I feel heaviness. It feels like the metal's stopping me right there.
Okay. Up and down, up and down.
Oh.
Very good. Up and down. Yes. Very good. Yes. Rotate it. So how does it feel when you do this?
Relief.
Okay. Actually, you haven't done this movement since the injury?
No, because I was worried that I was going to hurt something, so I haven't been moving my shoulders or my neck. It helps my neck too. Opposite
movement. And why did the doctors not advise you to move?
He told me that I could not have any moving my arm up at all, which I have anyways. He told me no movement up. And he told me no movement to the side at all.
Okay, so this is the orthopedic doctor who you saw. Okay, let's not name him, but so
my orthopedic surgeon.
Orthopedic surgeon said, don't move it.
Yes.
But what am I doing?
I'm moving it, and it actually
we are doing like a completely opposite of what he said.
Yeah, but it's relieving my muscles.
Okay, and now, so what did he say to follow up? Like, for example, you said, did he say to come and see you in a month, or what happened?
No, he told me to start just doing my physical therapy 3 times a week.
And so this is a month ago.
I last seen him, it was like a month ago.
Okay, and he didn't ask you to move it until a month later.
He told me I could stop wearing my sling for a couple hours, and that's the only advice he gave me.
Okay, so when did he? When are you supposed to move your arms?
They told me physical therapy after physical therapy. That's
when is the physical therapy?
I haven't started it yet.
When did he advise you to start?
Immediately.
Okay, so why did you start?
Why haven't I started? I have to find a babysitter.
Okay. So one thing is, I believe that there is even no need of any sort of even surgery. I believe that. Okay. So he told you to not move your arm until when? Until?
Oh yeah, he said not until, because I even have a piece of paper that says no, a 0 weight limit, no moving it in doctor terms, no moving it up like this. And no moving it out. It's on paperwork.
Now, move your neck side to side. Break it. Break your neck. Move it. Yes. Chin touching the chest. Back and forth. Completely break it. Break it. There's nothing that will go wrong. And ears touching the shoulders. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This way. Break it. Break your neck. Good. I know. Nobody will say that. Rotate it. Rotate it. Completely. Stretch it out. Opposite. Stretch it out. You pull out as much as possible. I'll bet on that if you can break the neck. Okay? Now, again, do one more time. Chin touching the chest. Up and down. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. Good. Rotate it. Rotate your shoulder. Good. Okay, now. Okay, good. Opposite. Okay, now. Now see the miracle happens. Lift your arms up. Lift your arms up. Up. Like this. Up, 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 up.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I haven't been able to do that since I had my surgery. I'm not kidding. I haven't been able to even put my hair up on my own.
What is this? Do you think so?
Oh my gosh.
Completely move it up. Hold your hand, both hands. Clasp both hands. Clasp it. Lift it up. Lift it. Okay, good.
That's crazy. I just had shoulder surgery a month ago.
And why do you think it happened? Why do you think?
Obviously, you did something. That's crazy. I haven't been able to even put my own hair up in a month.
Okay.
Because I couldn't reach up high enough to put my hair up.
Do it up. Put it up. I want you to understand, nothing wrong. It's all your mindset.
I don't have any pain shooting down my arms or anything.
You don't need any more anything. That's it. You just be free. That's it.
That used to hurt. I used to have sharp, striking, like lightning pains down my arm, moving if I would raise it more than this.
I know. So now you're able to do everything.
Oh my gosh.
Very good. Now tell me your opinion today. What happened? What makes sense out of this?
I don't really make sense of it. It's nice to be able to move my arms up. I have not been able to raise my arm above this since I've had my surgery, and I've just been able to move it this far up in the last 2 weeks.
How many minutes did we do?
Like 3 to 4 minutes.
That's it, yeah. Push it up. Break it. Now. Hit it to the roof. Come on.
This is...
Do it.
And there's no pain with it. There's no pain with it.
Hit it. Hit the skies. Fast.
That's crazy.
Hit it, I said. Nothing. So you didn't believe that it
No,
would work.
I'm a believer now. I have not been able to move my arm, even to put my hair up, since I had my surgery 1 month ago.
And so, is it okay if I put this on my website or things like that for other people?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have a good day.
Okay.
This side to side.
Side to side?
Yes. Break it. No, side, first of all, 5 times. Okay. Okay, good. Now the other one. Okay, break it. You couldn't believe that you could do this, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, now side this way. Up. Break it. The rotation now. The rotation. Yes. Just do these exercises every day.
I'm going to.
Very nice. Good luck. So, before we go, final, what's your feeling?
That this is crazy, and it feels good to be able to move my arms again after a month of having it down by my side and in a sling. I can't believe it worked, but it does.
Lift it up, like this. Up. Push it up.
I'm weak.
Doesn't matter. You do it.
That's with no muscle mass.
Every muscle is there. It's all in the head. Those people think that there's shoulder dislocation. There's no shoulder dislocation.
This is a month after shoulder surgery with a plate in my shoulder.
And you, on the same day, today is May 18th.
Yeah.
23rd. So with your left one, you could not even think of lifting just normally. Now you're lifting weights.
I can't even lift my left arm now.
That's okay.
My left arm. You're going to make me break my leg.
That's okay. Up. Yes. Hold it there. Very good. Control. Very good. This one with the right hand.
Feels like I have more strength in my right arm.
Up. Yes, good. Today is May 13th, 2015.
9, 10.
Kevin Garba. Rotate it 5 times, 10 times.
2, 3, 4,
5. Opposite.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One more time, opposite.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, now chin to the chest. Up and down. Shoulders up and down. Up and down. Close your fists and up and down. Yeah, good.
2.
Good. Break your shoulders. Yes, good job. Break it. Yes, very good. Very good. Now look at me. Neck side to side. Break it. Up and down. Slowly. Yeah, you don't have to be fast, but yeah. Break it. Yes. Okay, ears to the shoulders. Yes. Okay, rotate it. Opposite. Yes. Okay, that's okay. Opposite.
Oh.
Yes. Break it. Nicely. Good. Okay, now lift your hands up. Up. Both the hands. Clasp both your hands. Both the hands. Clap. Hold both the hands. Hold it. Oh, yes. Up. Push it up. Up. Good job. Do you see some improvement?
Yes.
How much improvement?
I'm telling you 75%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Compared to the last time?
Yes.
Okay, good luck. Okay. What do you think happened with your shoulder?
It tore the ligaments, what they told me. And then I just it
You
it went so long without exercising it.
Exactly. You didn't tear any ligament.
Right.
Do you believe that you tore a ligament?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
If you had torn a ligament, if you did this thing, would you have survived?
Probably not.
So what does it mean?
It means that just needed mind in it, and
yes,
and,
exactly. You
and
believed something
working.
wrong. You believed something wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
And you're doing the right thing.
Right thing now.
Very good.
Right.
Keep doing. Today is May 19th, 2015. See how wonderful your shoulder has become. Your mind has changed.
Hey, yes.
Do you believe that there is any damage to your shoulder at all?
No, I just need it needs some good exercise.
That's all. No damage, nothing.
3,
Only thing you have to become free.
4,
Good job.
5,
Good job.
6, 7,
Excellent.
8,
You are my best
9,
pupil.
10. Oh, that really stretches them out there.
Very good. Show me up. Put your hands up. Clasp both the hands. Clasp both the hands. Very good. Put it up. Good. Hats off.
That's all.
How do you feel?
I feel better.
Okay.
I feel a lot better.
For how long did you struggle with your shoulders?
Oh my goodness, it's been 3 years, 4 years.
Okay. And when did you come recently to see me again? A few weeks ago?
Yes, it was just 2 weeks ago. Well, it was last week when I seen you.
So,
And then
a month ago?
a month ago.
Okay. At that time, you had lots of limitations
Yes.
in your shoulder.
Yes.
How much limitation did you have?
I'd say at least 75%.
Okay. So now you are 100% relieved?
Yes.
Any left? Anything left? Problems left?
No, just the way it looks right there. But I got aches and pains, but that's normal.
100% normal. What's your name, ma'am?
Yeah.
Marissa Boone.
Okay, please tell me, today is May 21st, 2015. A couple of weeks ago you came and what was the problem at that time?
Shoulder was still hurting, and we did exercises, and it did work, but then I forgot to do them.
And then how are you feeling? Show me the limitation again.
Right there.
So you cannot lift it up?
It's hurt. It hurts too.
Okay, but you haven't been putting your hair with the right hand?
No, I kind of like,
Limited?
yeah,
How long? Week? 10 days?
about 15, 20 days.
So basically since the last visit, so it's been a month since I saw you, and so for 15, 20 days you've been having trouble with that. Why didn't you come here?
Lazy.
So what is the best you can do with the right hand right now?
Right there.
And you forgot the exercise that I told you. And that's what the miracle happens. It's amazing. If you don't do these exercises, you cannot get rid of that stuck. Okay? You're going to do those things.
Okay.
Rotate it. Rotate it. Completely. Rotate it. Very good. Good. Okay, good. Chin to the chest. Up and down. Very good. Okay, look at me. Head side to side. Break it. No, not so simple. Okay, good. Up and down. Nicely. Stretch it. Don't be so sensitive. Okay, very good. Put your ears to the shoulders. This one. This one. Rotate it. Yes, that's good. Opposite. Your body is wonderful. Every body is wonderful. Okay, now lift your hands up now. Up.
It's still sore.
Up. Completely up. Up. Clasp your hands. Clasp your hands. No, both the hands together. Clasp it. Like, push it up. Very good. Push it up. Completely. Very good. Excellent. Okay, now. Break it until you feel free. 20 times. Good. It's going to be painful, but if you push through, it will be good. Very good. Feeling any better since you came in?
Yes.
How much relief?
A lot better. Stretching it does help.
How much relief? 20, 30, 40, 50, what?
About 75% better.